A short story must have a single mood and every sentence must build towards it. All that we see and seem is but a dream within a dream. And so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there, and nothing more. A man's grammar, like Caesar's wife, should not only be pure, but above suspicion of impurity. Years of love have been forgot in the hatred of a minute. All religion, my friend, is simply evolved out of fraud, fear, greed, imagination, and poetry. A dirge for her the doubly dead in that she died so young. A million candles have burned themselves out, still I read on. Beauty of whatever kind, in its supreme development, invariably excites the sensitive soul to tears. Believe only half of what you see and nothing that you hear. Convinced myself, I seek not to convince. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. Even in the grave, all is not lost. Every moment of the night forever changing places, and they put out the starlight with the breath from the pale faces. Even with the utterly lost, to whom life and death are equally jests, there are matters of which no jest can be made. Every poem should remind the reader that they are going to die. Experience has shown, and a true philosophy will always show, that a vast, perhaps the larger, portion of truth arises from the seemingly irrelevant. Either the memory of past bliss is the anguish of today, or the agonies which have their origins in ecstasies which might have been. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. I felt that I breathed an atmosphere of sorrow. I stand amid the roar of a surf-tormented shore, and I hold within my hand grains of golden sand, how few. Yet how they creep through my fingers to the deep, while I weep. I became insane, with long intervals of horrible sanity. Imperceptibly the love of these discords grew upon me as my love of music grew stronger. I was never kinder to the old man than during the whole week before I killed him. If you wish to forget anything on the spot, make a note that this thing is to be remembered. It is by no means an irrational fancy that, in a future existence, we shall look upon what we think our present existence as a dream. I remained too much inside my head and ended up losing my mind. I dread the events of the future, not in themselves but in their results. It is a happiness to wonder, it is a happiness to dream. I call to mind flatness and dampness, and then all is madness, the madness of a memory which busies itself among forbidden things. In our endeavors to recall to memory something long forgotten, we often find ourselves upon the very verge of remembrance, without being able, in the end, to remember. I was a child and she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea, but we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. I would define, in brief, the poetry of words as the rhythmical creation of beauty, where the good and the bad and the worst and the best have gone to their eternal rest. In one case out of 100 a point is excessively discussed because it is obscure. In the 99 remaining it is obscure because it is excessively discussed. In criticism, I will be bold, and as sternly, absolutely just with friend and foe. From this purpose nothing shall turn me. Men have called me mad, but the question is not yet settled, whether madness is or is not the loftiest intelligence. Never to suffer would never to have been blessed. Now this is the point. You fancy me a mad. Madmen know nothing. But you should have seen me. You should have seen how wisely I proceeded. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. There was much of the beautiful, much of the wanton, much of the bizarre, something of the terrible, and not a little of that which might have excited disgust. Poetry is the rhythmical creation of beauty in words. Stupidity is a talent for misconception. Sleep, those little slices of death, how I loathe them. Science has not yet taught us if madness is or is not the sublimity of the intelligence. Those who dream by day are cognizant of many things which escape those who dream only by night. The best things in life make you sweaty. The true genius shudders at incompleteness, imperfection, and usually prefers silence to saying the something which is not everything that should be said. The death of a beautiful woman is, unquestionably, the most poetical topic in the world. There are some secrets which do not permit themselves to be told. That which you mistake for madness is but an over-acuteness of the senses. To die laughing must be the most glorious of all glorious deaths. The 99 with dreams, content, but the hope of the world made new, is the 100th man who is grimly bent on making those dreams come true. The rain came down upon my head, unsheltered, and the wind rendered me mad and deaf and blind. The depth lies in the valleys where we seek her, and not upon the mountain tops where she is found. There are chords in the hearts of the most reckless which cannot be touched without emotion, even by the utterly lost, to whom life and death are equally jests. There are matters of which no jest can be made. The idea of God, infinity, or spirit stands for the possible attempt at an impossible conception. There is no exquisite beauty without some strangeness in the proportion. Villains, I shrieked, dissemble no more. I admit the deed, tear up the planks. Here, here, it is the beating of his hideous heart. We loved with a love that was more than love.